Jim Davidson has famously come under fire, of course, for his controversial jokes, and he created quite a stir in the Big Brother house back in 2014.
Yeah, but now he wants to set the record straight with a brand new UK tour, which starts next week.
Can I just point out, Suzanne, I did win Big Brother, don't you know?
You did. That was one of the highs that you put down. This tour's all
Actually,
about
that was one of the lows.
Well, yeah, I've been meaning that you think that was one of the highs.
It was one of the highs, yeah, but watching it back is one of the lows. I do miss Dappy, though. That's the nearest thing I've ever had to being totally in love with another man. Yeah, he saved my life, Daffy. I think he's fantastic, talented guy. So, yeah, the lows, highs and lows. This show I'm doing now, that I start touring next week in Dunstable, is 2.5 hours of my life crammed in, with all the things that are interesting about me and all the questions that have gone unanswered. Because the worst thing about being me, apart from my hair, overweight, thin legs and the Charlton Athletics reporter, is the fact that there is...
The worst thing, then?
Well, there is this perception of me, and people haven't seen me. And
what
they say,
do you think
controversial
people's perception of you is?
Sexist, racist, homophobic, anything, you know. Loads of it.
But those...
Since Bernard Manning died, I'm the bad guy, you know. If you don't like me, you're pretty cool.
But, Jim, those things come about because people watch you perform, or they hear somebody...
No, they come about by people who don't watch me perform, or they come about with the stuff written in black and white. You ask any comedian, it's not the same as when it's said, you know. And so, listen, I can't moan, you know, I am what I am.
Yeah, but you've called the tour Set the Record Straight.
Yeah, well, I've been doing it for 40 years since I won New Faces in 1976.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it? I mean, come on.
Do you feel that there are certain topics off limits for you?
Yeah, I think that what should be off limits is being rude to people or singling someone out in an audience that's going to feel bad about the whole thing. I really think you've got to be able to make that person like you. Comedians always want to be liked, don't they? Centre of attention. Me, 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 me. You know, so you don't really start to alienate an audience or someone in an audience. But then, let's say, for instance, you have someone who's disabled in the front row. So you take the mickey out, everybody, and ignore that person and go on. That's bad. So if you include people, that guy will have the time of his life, but someone at the back, who particularly doesn't like me, said he'd ridiculed a poor person in a wheelchair in the front row. So you've had it, really. Do you just ignore that? But do you ignore anybody who's not exactly the same as yourself?
One of the things that I just mentioned to our viewers, of course, is that you have this family mystery that you are investigating, which might surprise people. What is it? It's about your dad.
Well, I love that programme, Who Do You Think You Are?
Yeah.
You know, where you get all these nice posh actors find out that their family are all scallywags and vagabonds. I did some research about my mysterious Uncle Bill, who was my dad's younger brother. I'm named after his regiment. My name is Cameron Davidson, but on my birth certificate it's James Cameron Davidson. Dad re-registered me. He didn't like the idea of me being named after his brother. And he moved into our house a year before I was born. I moved out a year after I was born, went to Thailand, stayed there for the rest of his life, drank himself to death, and there is this slight mystery. And I was putting two and two together. He wrote me something in Arabic that means from my father. He could speak various languages. Clever guy, Glaswegian guy.
So you think that he actually might be your...
Well, I asked my mum. She went mad. She went absolutely mad. But then she sent me a message from the crematorium where she was being... When we said goodbye to Mum, she left a little message, a little cryptic message, which I shared with the audience, and then we don't sort of vote on it like you hold up a red tomato or a green one. You know.
What was the message, Jim?
It was a piece of music that when I was being born, right, my Uncle Bill played a piece on the piano called Claire de Lune.
Yes.
By Debussy. And then when I found this piece of music and played it on the piano for my mum, she started crying her eyes out and told me the story, but she left it really open. And then when we went into the crematorium where that music starts...
And that's what she'd wanted at the crematorium?
Yeah, it was Claire de Lune. It's interesting stuff, Suzanne, but you feel slightly bad about it, because I loved my dad.
Of course.
And I didn't know Uncle Bill that much, although my brothers did.
But these are some of the things that you explore on your tour, which starts next Thursday.
Well, I feel bad about the fact we've got to bring the conversation to an end. But people, of course, can hear these stories on your tour. It was great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for coming in.